It's the holidays, whether we like it or not. It's the holidays. It's here. It's happening. You know what? Let's make some shortbread cookies because they're good. All right, everybody, welcome back. I'm Dave Garrett. This is This Vet Cooks. I know it's been a while, but hey, we're here. We're making it happen. It's the holidays, and as I promised, we're going to be doing some good stuff here. And as I mentioned at the top of this show, we're going to go ahead and make some shortbread cookies. Here's what we're going to need, so get ready. Write this down, prepare to copy. 3/4 pounds of unsalted butter. Unsalted butter. Make sure it's unsalted. There's a reason behind that. 1 cup of sugar plus extra for sprinkling. And you know when the recipe says extra for sprinkling, you know what we're doing. That's right. We are making cookies, and that's really it. And we're making holiday cookies because all the other ones don't really call for sugar extra for sprinkling, but this one does. Let's see, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. So be careful, pure vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of that. 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. There's your salt, okay? But that goes into the mix, not into the butter. And 6 to 7 ounces of very good, and again, very good. So you know what? Spend that extra buck, okay? It matters. Trust me, it matters. Very good semi-sweet chocolate, finely chopped. So we're going to chop it up. And the chopping part, if you get it in little blocks, that's okay, or little chunks, that's okay, because it's going to get melted. So either way, you know, finely chopped makes it quicker to melt, but it's going to melt. So we're going to melt that. So we're going to put that all together. So let's get started. Hey, listen, before I get started, putting it all together, we're going to take that butter and we're going to take some sugar and we're going to put it in the mixer. We're going to mix it all up, and then we're going to slowly sift the flour and the salt together. That way it mixes in there and gets all the big clumps out of there. And then we're going to add it into the mix and get it all nice and doughy, and then we'll add our vanilla and we'll go from there. So it's going to be great. It's going to be huge. Just to let you know, it's going to take about 15 minutes of prep. 30 minutes of, it's got to sit after we mix the dough. We got to wrap it up, kind of what we did with the pasta. The same thing there. We're going to wrap it up, let it sit for 30 minutes, and then we're going to come out, mold it, cut it out. We're going to cut little squares, okay? And then we're going to bake it for about another 30 minutes, let it cool down. Well, no, not 30 minutes, like 20 minutes. Sorry about that. Watch that time. And so we're going to bake it. We're going to let them cool down, and then we're going to do the chocolate. We're going to do black and whites. I guess that's what they are called. You're going to dip the chocolate. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome. You'll see it on the back end. So again, this is coming from Food Network, Ina Garten. Ina Garten's, it's her shortbread cookie recipe. So again, I'll have that link. I'll have the recipe on the website also, but I'll have the link in the show notes as well. So go visit that. It's real simple, by far the easiest shortbread cookie recipe there is. And so I hope she knows that this veteran appreciates her having that recipe out there, because again, this vet cooks, and we're going to cook together, and you're going to have fun, and we're going to have fun. You know what? That's enough talking. Let's get to work. Okay, so here we are. We're at the mixer, ready to rock and roll. The old KitchenAid here, ready to rock and or roll. And before we get started, directions say we need to preheat the oven to 350 degrees. So let's go ahead and fire it up. And we've just launched. We've entered the launch codes for the oven. So there we go. Next, we're going to, in a bowl of an electric mixer fitted with the paddle attachment, mix together the butter and 1 cup of sugar until they combine. They are just combined. All right, so let's get that part done. Okay, so there we are, and everything's locked in place. Okay, we're ready. There is our 1 cup of sugar. Make sure you're using a dry measuring cup. Don't use the liquid one, because apparently a cup of liquid is different than a cup of dry. That's what I was told. That's right. Wrong answer. Thank you, Jim. Yes, that is correct. And here's our 3/4 cup of butter, unsalted butter. And don't you forget it, unsalted butter. There we go. And there's the first quarter. There's the second quarter. And here's the 3/4 cup of, but I don't know, because if you look at the wrapper does say, well, it is first quality. I'm sorry, I misread that. I could have sworn it said first quarter, and all 3 of them are the first quarter. Well, it depends on how you load them, right? All right, let's get started. Let's go ahead and mix this up. Here we go. Well, folks, that did not take very long. That did not take very long. So now we're going to add the vanilla. And in a medium bowl, we're going to sift together the flour and the salt and add to the butter sugar mix. Mix on low speed until the dough starts to come together. All right, here we go. Okay, so there it is. Flour, salt, vanilla extract. There we go. So now we're going to mix this up until it starts to, well, that means that the oven is ready. So let's get this ready. All right, so there it is. I've started flattening it. It says to kind of do it in a flat disc. And be careful because it's going to be buttery. And yeah, so it's a little wet, so it's going to be that way. But then it says that we need to put some wrap it in plastic wrap, 30 minutes, let it sit, so kind of in a flat disc. And, you know, this is more like a flat, you know what? You know what, I'm an infantryman. It doesn't matter. As long as it's flat and it's semi-round, it's got 360 degrees all the way around. Because then again, the outside of a square is 360 degrees all the way around too. In case you didn't know that. Or is that the inside? No, that's 180. See, I know my math. Could have been a mortarman. Could have been a mortarman. Yeah, you're right. Not in your life. I hope that'll, no, that's not going to cover it. Good thing I stopped. All right, now let's see. I always have the most terrible time tearing this stuff off because I don't get it. But okay. Here it is. So a little small. Then we flip it over and we cover it here, cover it there. Now we can really flip it over. And you know what you can do with the dough? Yeah, you can't eat it. It's another 2 thumbs up. Because there's no eggs in it. And even if it had eggs, so what? It'll cook inside your body. It's like 98.6. Anyway, so why this? Why? I love flatbread cookies. Or shortbread cookies. Sorry about flatbread. That's a different recipe. I love shortbread cookies when I actually take time to chew it. Yeah, these are easy, quick, but a delicacy, and I guess because it's the sugar. I mean, it's just the whole cup of sugar and the butter. And when you got sugar and butter put together and some flour, it's awesome. And then throw some vanilla, and yeah, that vanilla, you can really taste it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it's just one of those old traditional things. I don't know if you've seen that shortbread that's got like the long box of shortbread cookies that's got plaid on it, kind of giving you the impression it's made in Scotland. It's all traditional Scottish cookies, biscuits, I think is what they call them over there, but my accents are all off. Anyway, I just love them. It's the holidays. And then we're going to throw some chocolate on these things once it's all said and done. I'm going to leave it alone here for 30 minutes. I'm going to quit touching it because, you know, again, infantry. All right, listen, we're going to pause here. 30 minutes, we're going to let it rest, and we'll be back here at the back end. All right, we're back, and now it says that we roll this out and use the thing, and I need to add a little more, whatchamacallit here. But we're going to do like some rectangles. All right, so do that here. And like so, and then we'll just end up putting it on an ungreased baking sheet. There we go. And the yield is supposed to be 20. We roll it out to 1/2 inch, so there should be 20 altogether. So, and don't forget it's full of butter, so that will take care of that. And again, if this just doesn't work, now don't forget you're only going to be able to work on this for just only so long. And it doesn't hurt to help, yeah, because it'll start doing that. It'll start sticking to your, get some more flour on it. Get some flour on your dough to kind of help separate that. There we go. And there, very rudimentary, but that should be that. Now you don't have to be perfect again. Look, see what happens? So this will take a little bit of time, but for the most part, once you get it, again, down to 1/2 inch, which should not be rolled out that much more. Alrighty. All right, so let's continue and we'll finish here in just a bit. All right, there they all cut up. Again, I didn't have a cutter, so I just used a butter knife and just played it by ear. 1 inch by 3 inch, roughly. I know that's not 3 inches. That might be 3 inches. No, yes, maybe, no, yeah, definitely not. But again, it's just one of those. So now it calls for us to sprinkle some sugar. I don't know. The sugar feels a little weird. It almost feels like on the verge of confectioner sugar. It is granulated, but it's very finely granulated. I had to actually taste it to think maybe, oh, maybe it's salt. But unless salt is sweet, twice as sweet as sugar, twice as sweet as salt. Okay. If you get hooked on it, it's nobody. Anyway, lyrics. So we put a little bit on there. Now, don't forget, we're going to be cooking this at 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes. I do believe it's going to be on the verge of that time. I think we got them all. Yep, there we go. Alrighty, so now they're going to go in the oven, and let's get to work. Well, let the oven do the work. All right, there we go. All right, listen, while the cookies are baking, and it's going to take a little bit, but not too long, so keep an eye on them. Don't leave the kitchen. Listen, I want to thank everybody that has stopped by and visited on Twitter at this vet cooks. Yeah, there it is. And also on our Facebook page, facebook.com/thisvetcooks, all one word. And on our Instagram feed. Love having you there. It's a lot of fun. Following a lot of great people. So everybody that follows, I follow them. Again, great content, great stuff. A lot of great recipes that are popping up now during the holidays. So again, we're going to be adding more stuff here, but also don't forget to look around there and say, hey, this vet cook sent me over there. And you know what else? Because it is the holidays, it's that time of year. Emotions get high. We start thinking of things, and then we start thinking of those that are, that are not here with us anymore. And we start thinking of the good times, and the bad times also start creeping in. But again, it's a joyous season. It's a wonderful season, and don't let it get you down. You know yourself better than anybody else. And trust me when I say this, you know yourself better than anybody else knows you. You know that. So don't hesitate. Reach out. Make the call to the Veterans Crisis Line, 1-800-273-8255. 1-800-273-8255. When that automated attendant answers, hit that number one. Hit that one button. It'll take you straight to the Veterans thing. And again, whoever answers, they might not be an expert in what your situation is, but you know what? They're going to do everything they can to find someone who will be able to help, listen, talk to, and really begin the conversation, folks. The Veterans Crisis Line, 1-800-273-8255. Press the number 1. And again, because you're worth it. And don't sell yourself short. Again, like I said, no one has the right to tell you how to think. No one has the right to tell you what you should be feeling during this holiday season. Only you. And when you need that help, there's someone there that will listen to you. So make the call. All right, so cookies are cooling. They look awesome. Now we're melting the, we want to wait until the cookies are really cooled down to almost room temperature before you start melting your chocolate chips or your chocolate chunks here. And there it is. So we had about 6 ounces. I did the first half, then started 30 seconds, and the glass will be, the bowl will be hot, so be careful. Then stirred those around until they all broke down. And then then I got half of that, so about 1.5 ounces. Dropped them in there, another 30 seconds. Again, stirred until it went all smooth. And then the last 1.5 ounces. And look at that. That's it. It's ready to go. So now we're done here. Careful, don't take too long, or don't leave it under the fan, because it starts to cool right away. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the cookies and everything to the table. Let's take the camera over there. Let's get this under control. Let's get the last half of this done. Now I know it said you can drizzle it, but this is really the effect I'm trying to get. Is just a little bit of chocolate and kind of a over the top here. And just like that. Again, that's the effect I'm going for, is just, a little bit of chocolate as a to accent the shortbread cookie. But there's nothing to it. I mean, that's pretty much it. So let me get these done, and we'll bring the show here to a wrap. But all in all, 15 minutes to prep, and then 30 minutes to assemble, and then another 25. It was 25 minutes cooking, baking, and then letting it cool, doing the chocolate, and here we are. This is the last part. And of course, you don't have to use just chocolate. It's what I wanted, but you can use frosting, or you can use that jellied little, whatchamacallit, the jellied stuff, the little tube and design stuff, or you can just put a white frosting on it and then add some stuff. Have the kids, it's the holidays, so have the kids play with it, or whatever you need, whatever you want to do. It's quick, it's easy, it's fun, and most of all, it's very tasty. I had to fight Mrs. This Vet Cooks from procuring all of the shortbread cookies, and now it's going to be a bigger struggle when we do with the chocolate here. But either way, that's kind of what it's going to look like. We'll come back on the back end after I've put all these together. Hey, listen, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining me. These were a lot of fun to make. And these are shortbread cookies. They taste great. Give it a shot. Again, the key thing here is butter. So spend those extra couple of pennies to get, or dollars. I don't know what inflation is all about. But infantry. Anyway, seriously, get the real butter, the unsalted butter. That's the key to the whole thing. It's got to be unsalted. If it's salted, good luck. Be careful. It's going to definitely have a different texture. But hey, listen, here's the cookie, and there's the chocolate on there, like I said. So you know what? Happy holidays. Get to baking. Get family together. Get some friends over. Bake some cookies. Have some cider with that. Have some eggnog. Or really spice up the eggnog. I got to find a good eggnog recipe. Hey, listen, in the meantime. Oh man, that's good. Let the chocolate harden up. Hey, listen, I'm Dave Guerra, and This Vet Cooks.